stepping into September like a bad bitch.
In this video, I'm gonna take you through my monthly reset routine that sets me to become the highest version of myself. Keep watching for some tips on what you could do to reset for this new month. It's a new month, besties, which means it's time for our monthly reset. And there's no better time for me to do this video as prep is going really well at the moment. And I can't wait to share my monthly reset routine, setting my intentions for September, and also bring you along with my full body workout that I did yesterday. A lot of people always like, oh, like, what's my split and everything like that. It's a little different. And if you're a bikini bodybuilder, you know that like each person's split can be different when you're not a beginner anymore. Like the past couple days is literally like built, like it was almost like building into like heading into this new month. Now I'm not a big fan of the whole like new year new me, like having to wait to January, new month, new week to kind of start something. However, in the last final week of August, I felt a shift changing in me. Things are starting to fall in place, especially with prep. We have a new low today, a new low. We're like 10 kilos down now in like, I don't know, like 10-ish weeks, like 12, 13 weeks, which is a lot, but we are also digging pretty hard. So I'll bring you along and do a voiceover of my full body session. I don't know how many weeks out yet. We are having a rough idea. We'll be like December, like end of November, December time. And when we're ready, we'll go. We don't want to show up at 70%. Like we actually want to show up at 100%. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to summarize what I did this morning because I was recording in slow-mo. I did some journaling. I did some like gratitude journal. This is literally the best way to kind of like get started with journaling because it has prompts. It's very simple. Let me just read it to you guys now, and you can even just do this on a piece of paper. You don't gotta buy this special pretty notebook. You can just use a blank piece of paper and start there. So it's split into like AM and PM. The morning one, it's I am grateful for, what would make today great, daily affirmations, I am ... So that's the morning section. Now the evening, 3 amazing things that happened today. How could I have made today better? So I think this is such a great way to kind of like get started with journaling. I know for a fact that when I first started, it's like a little overwhelming, a little blank, a little like, what do I write here? And if that's you and that's something like you want to explore, I'm not saying like journaling is for everybody, but everybody deserves an outlet. Okay. Whatever that is, you have to have an outlet because it gets a little busy up here. You don't want to be holding mental real estate. You know, real estate goes up in value over time, and it's valuable when you put it on the market. Okay, I'm taking this metaphor too far, and like if you follow my Instagram or you're one of my clients watching this, you know that like I love metaphors to kind of like visualize and everything like that. Now the next step to your monthly reset and incorporating this into like your daily or weekly routine in this new month is I have a blank notebook where I just brain dump shit. So I journal, I brain dump, I just like let the ideas flow, and it'll be different each day. Sometimes it'll be, you know, like self-reflection, and more so for like emotion regulation, right? Like a question I always ask my clients is, what are you gonna do when the emotion overwhelm or any other emotion does come up? What are your systems to regulate it? How are you gonna overcome? How are you gonna manage it? I'm not saying that's just gonna fix the feeling or like just like avoid the feeling, but it allows us to actually acknowledge and deal with it. When we push it aside and not deal with it, it actually causes us more pain in the long run, and it's just gonna live in your head rent free, bestie. No, nobody needs to live in your head rent free, including somebody's dusty son. Okay, so yeah, some days it'll just be, you know, like reflection. Some days it'll just literally be like whatever's in my head, because like I have a lot of like intrusive random thoughts. and they don't have anywhere to go. You know, I'm not gonna say it out loud. I might scare some people. So I just dump a bunch of shit over here to kind of brain dump and get out the mental real estate so I can make room, make space for new energies, new ideas. And that's exactly the energy we're stepping into September with. Okay. We're stepping into September like I'll be a bitch. We're stepping into September, releasing onto any negative energy, any resentment, any heavy feelings that are no longer serving you. We're releasing and letting them go. Lastly, I'm so extra. I have 3 fucking notebooks. This is Grace Beverly's productivity planner. I really like it. I'll be honest, I have her Notion one as well, the digital version, and I swap between the two, which is just chaos for my neurodivergent brain. And my notes section on my phone is pretty crazy as well, but you know, this is just the way I'm wired right now, but we can rewire that. Yeah, by taking these steps daily, we're gonna rewire that. So I just gotta get cardio out of the way. Right now, cardio is pretty high. We're at 70 minutes daily, and we're having to split that by 2. I prefer personally doing things in one go, but anything past like 60 minutes is just overkill. Like your performance is going to take a hit. So if you can generate the same output, splitting it across 2 different sessions is probably going to generate higher quality output. So that's exactly what we're doing. And I actually like shot myself in the foot here because I texted Mike because I've been feeling really good. We have a new load today as well. And like, I honestly like felt it coming. And it's been a little hard because I watch a lot of like other bodybuilders, pro bodybuilders, prep vlogs and everything like that. And you know, it's usually inspiring, motivating, it keeps me entertained during cardio, but sometimes it gets in my head when people drop like 5 pounds in a week or something like that, and I've dropped 20 pounds over the course of like 3 months, which, you know, is still a lot compared to like just a lifestyle fat loss, right? Like I am on prep, guys. That's something you remember, that like what I'm doing on prep, you should not emulate. I've been getting a lot of messages like, oh my god, you're changing so fast, like what are you doing, can you tell me what you're doing? And I'm like a little hesitant because like I'd love to be able to help you, but I also want you to like keep those results for life, and what I'm doing is not like sustainable, you know. So, and like one thing is, I say it's not sustainable, but it's also personal experience, right? Like I am enjoying it, like competing or not, stepping on a stage or not, I love the process so much. Like I'm not waiting for it to finish, I'm not waiting for cardio to end. And I know that might sound like, oh, like I'm so motivated. Like I'm not. There are hard days. There are days where my body feels like a bit beat up, but I have a coach who really cares and support, and like it's like a partnership that we work together to communicate, and it's been the most fulfilling prep so far because I've learned so much more about myself. I pushed myself to like literally like new levels I didn't think like I could get. And you know, I'm not even gonna say hopefully I'm gonna bring my best, I'm gonna bring my fucking best. Hopefully is literally like letting this energy of doubt leak into your conscious mind. Like your subconscious is like validating it, you know? Like you are gonna speak with stronger intentions. You are gonna move in a way that you never imagined you could when you start speaking with stronger intentions. And that's like me keeping it real. And like I'm gonna like, I know this because that's literally been me in the last like couple months. I've been going through some massive personal life changes. Like life been lifing, okay? It's been life. And I noticed my energy starting to leak, and there's stuff in my subconscious that, you know, is actually like leaking into like my own energy and how I move, how I communicate, how I show up as a bad bitch. Oh, this is your reminder. If you don't feel confident, if you don't feel sure of yourself, start talking like you are.
And if you're not sure where to start, you're in the right place, bestie. So let's get straight into it. So the first step of monthly reset is actually sit down and plan. Break down resets into first rhythms. Find your monthly rhythm, find your weekly rhythm, find your daily rhythm. Allows you to identify like your big rocks, what has to get done. I'll show you my process for this. So since this is monthly, it would be stuff like, you know, my appointments, lashes, nails, wax. Not saying that these are not negotiables, but for a baddie, they're not negotiable. So I go once every like month or 1.5 months. I'm kind of overdue right now, but you know, feeling a little dusty. But we move. Next, sis, you're gonna clean that damn room. Remember, your place, your room is your sanctuary. And if it's dusty AF, that's where bad bitches go die. Okay? And bad bitches thrive when they have a clean space because they have a clean mind and they can start showing up as the highest version of themselves. So clean your room, get rid of any trash, get rid of any of like sneaky links who's like holding you back and weigh you down, you know. That's the standard thing. And yeah, I literally did a deep clean and it was so nice because I feel like I'm much more creative and I can get more work done. I organized all my supplements into a box because it's annoying to do it in the morning and you're gonna forget to take it. So organize your supplements and look at my activewear closet. Look, that's just all cute gym sets. I'm so happy. Oh my god, yes.
So I got really emotional in this morning's check-in, but like it was in slow motion. Actually, that might be funny actually. Let's see. For me, if I were to recreate and refilm that, it's just not like raw, it just would feel icky. Like, no, that's just ick. You know, yeah, we have a new low. We're at 70, we're like 20 pounds down, and now we're gonna go do cardio, which I'm really excited for. In a bit. All right, let's do this. I just finished, sat down for a bit. So that was 35 done, honestly. I mean, 35 isn't too bad. Then we'll do the next 35 like later tonight. But 35 with a weighted vest, that's kind of hard. But yeah, okay, we're gonna go home. Finally have our first meal. Pack my meals and then go grab coffee downtown. Let's go. You know, guys, like, okay, for my non-Thai listeners, a lot of people have been asking me, like, what are you sniffing? Don't worry, it is not narcotics. It's basically a herbal inhaler. Is it gonna focus? Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm skeptical because it says all the ingredients here: menthol, camphor, borneo, and other herbs. You know, marijuana is a herb. So, like, I'm a little skeptical. So I bought a natural one. Like, I don't know, someone at my gym's like selling it. So I was like, I'm gonna support my fellow gym goer, and it's supposed to be all natural. Not sure if I just fell into like easy marketing. Like, if you write all natural on the packet, then it's all natural. Anyways, whew. So I'm really hungry. Like, usually I have my straight meal right after cardio, but since Mike said that don't have your oats today just yet because we might be making a push, I know I'm gonna be a hungry bitch today. So I'm gonna try to push out my meal another like at least 20 to 30 minutes. I'm gonna shower, gonna clean my room, try to keep my mind off food. I just showered. I'm about to have my first meal. I'm gonna eat now.
Full body session. Let's get straight into it, besties. So, a lot of people ask me, full body? Like, why do you do full body? Well, it's because it's honestly just like a touch up session for me. I'm only training 4 times a week, and 3 of those sessions are like legs, like glutes, and a lot of delts, because that's the main 2 body parts that I want to bring up. And this full body session is actually just mostly legs with a little touch on back and delts, just to have that little extra volume. But yeah, first things first, we have the lying cuff laterals. I set up in a 45-degree bench. I put the cuffs around my wrist area, and I got these from 1RM. Really great cuffs, my favorites. They feel really high quality and makes my connection so much better as well, so definitely worth it. They're a UK based brand. Anyways, I have 3 sets of 12 to 15 here, and you know, there's so many ways to do this. You can do a flat bench, you can play around with like different inclines and stuff like that, but this is definitely the setup that I like to use, is setting the cable around knee height and thinking about driving my arms elbows away from me rather than thinking about like pulling it up. I think about driving the cables away from me. Next, we have the neutral grip lat pull down. This is my new fave attachment. We have these awesome green attachments at the back, you probably see in the background here. I love, but they're gone through a lot, okay? They're going through it, and a lot of the grips just don't feel grippy anymore and kind of impacts how I connect with my back. So I've switched out for these grips, and I really like it. So I do 3 sets here. One set's 8 to 12. This will be kind of a heavier weight. I'll try to aim for the upper rep range. Like, I'll get a heavy weight, aim for 8, and then next session I'll aim for 9, 10 until I hit the upper rep range comfortably. Then I will add more weight. But yeah, great movement here. And the difference between different grips is you targeting different parts of your back. You want to think about driving elbows, okay? Elbows to hips. Obviously that's not possible. You're not going to try touch your elbow to the hip, but that's the kind of cue I use to help target the lats here. Of course, there's going to be some bicep and shoulder movement, but we want to kind of avoid that as possible. And by doing that is just not gripping as hard and thinking about elbow drive. Lying hamstring curl. I love these. I actually prefer the seated ones, but the difference between the two is one works the muscle in a stretch position and one is more shortened bias. Now, I'm really brutal with the eccentric control here, and I take the tempo prescription really strict. I make sure it's slow. I do it with maximum intent and think about dragging the weight up and squeezing my hamstrings. I make sure my knees are aligned with the axis of rotation here, and on the way up, I actually like have my knee lift up slightly. This makes sure that, you know, I'm connected with my hamstrings really well and I'm not using my lower back or using momentum to kind of get up there. But yeah, love these. Do like the seated hamstring curl too. Whatever you choose, you know, whatever you like, have both in my program. So yeah, that is the 3rd exercise of my full body session. Leg extensions, my fave, but I barely train quads anymore. I only have 2 sets here, and then I have like a narrow leg press, which is also quad dom, but that are literally all the quad work I have, just because we're not trying to grow them. It's not that like my quads are super big or anything like that, but bikini is a game of balance, symmetry, and I have other body parts to kind of create that symmetry to kind of bring up. So I only have 2 sets here. The main thing here really is setting the position of the specific machine you have to make sure that it aligns with, like, you know, your height and everything like that. A rule of thumb is I make sure that the bottom pad is around like my tibia kind of area. Is it called a tibia? Not sure. We're rolling with it. But yeah, after that, I lock myself and pull myself into the seat, make sure that my hips are not going to be lifting out. Sometimes I use lifting straps as well. And then I kick up, think about dragging my heels apart, contracting nice and hard, and controlling the stretch on the way down too. The biggest game changer for quad growth for me has always been controlling the eccentric on the way down. Just because you get to the top, don't just let gravity pull you down. Make sure you're controlling it. And that's going to be literally like doubling up your gains. People always ask me, what's my least favorite exercise? And I always tell them, I don't really have one. I like training every body part. I like every exercise. I like, you know, I like training. However, this is definitely one of those exercises I actually don't like that much. I wouldn't go as far to say hate, but the quad dom leg press, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, but we do it. we do it, okay? So we have 2 sets here. One set's 8 to 12, one set's 15 to 20. I don't go super heavy with this, but I do make sure that I get a really big range of motion and make sure that I'm controlling the tempo and making sure that I'm like kind of like pressing through the heels to kind of bias my quads a little more. But yeah, that is basically it. And of course, next, a leg day staple, some form of hip thrust, glute bridge, glute drive, whatever you call it. So I have the glute bridge hip thrust machine. It's a hip thrust machine. Yes, hip thrust machine. That's right. I actually hip thrust like 3 times a week. I train 4 times a week, and 3 of those sessions has some form of glute bridge, and this one is just the Arsenal strength glute drive. It's quite nice. I do prefer a Smith machine as well, which I do have in my program, but the setup and sometimes it's just like busy, so I use this. But I have the support of Veronica to spot my set and make sure I don't die. I call this the death trap because sometimes if you fail, you're literally trapped and you might die. Well, your glutes will die. And yes, death by glute gains is not a bad way to die, but you know, I still want to be alive to show off those glute gains. But anyways, here is my set here. It is my final exercise, no, second last exercise before we have some kickbacks at the end, some accessory. But yeah, this was a good set. I'm actually going to try drop the weight on these, and you know, these feel really, really good. But I do want to like target my lower glutes a bit more, and make sure that I can like work my way back up. And that's just like part of training sometimes. Like, don't be scared to kind of drop the weight down and work your way back up. That's literally training. It's not always like up. Sometimes you got to work your way back down and then work your way back up. But yeah, last but definitely not least, this is literally the topping on the cake of a glute day, is having glute kickbacks. I used to be so shy to do these because I wanted to walk around the gym and be like, oh, I'm not a basic gym girl. And back like a few years ago, it was like a super like, you're so basic if you do glute kickbacks, but they're actually a great accessory exercise, so you can add more volume, because you can't be hip thrusting every day, okay, bestie? If you can't hip thrust every day, you're not training hard enough. And having accessory work can add more volume without it being too taxing on your recovery. And that is a really, really great way to kind of add glute volume and get those glute gains. So I like to use a bumper plate or some sort of stepper to elevate and stand on my non-working leg, so I get better clearance of the floor, and then I drag or kick my foot back depending on like which part of the glute I'm targeting, and hold the squeeze at the top. I'm actually going to swap these out for
Hi guys, this is Julie post-production.
I did them with John.
I'm editing this right
video,
now, and I'm going to post it today. And this was
bodybuilder.
I was winging it, so I didn't really record a proper outro and everything like that. The gym got super busy, and I filmed the entire workout. I'm like, am I going to film an outro?
Yeah,
Probably
that is
not.
basically my full body
So,
workout.
thank you for coming along for this comeback season episode 2. And if you enjoy more content like this and you want to see more like this, don't forget to give me a follow on Instagram at coachedbyjulie for like my day-to-day prep updates and everything like that. And for more longer form videos, of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Super new to YouTube, and girl, it's humbling, you know. I have all 80 to 100 of you watching. But we start somewhere. Anyways, thank you guys, and I will catch you on the next episode, which will be a full glute day with a bodybuilder. Let's go.